Hello and welcome back on the channel. Today's video is, or I'm making today's video with the beginners in mind, because if you're starting knife throwing, sooner or later somebody will tell you just get some screwdrivers as a starters. So are they good? Are they bad? Or are they different? This is what the video about. Now, to sum it all up, as my opinion, screwdrivers are one of the best non-throwing knife throwable implement. Basically, it doesn't. Its primary function is not to be thrown, yet they are awesome fun. But there are a few challenges associated with it, and let's talk about these. So all screwdrivers can be thrown from the little one to the really big one. But especially at the beginning, size does matter. So you have to experiment with a little bit which one you like. Don't throw three completely different sizes one after the other, especially when you're learning. That won't make it easy to learn. This would be a little bit more difficult to control. For me, this big boy, which is 360 millimeter long, as a total length, it is very hard to control no spin, but to throw half spin, no problem. So as I said, size matter. Now, with everything that I start, sometimes I discover things by accident. So that's how I figured I really like these. Now, the measurements or statistics on this, it's got 150 millimeter shank length with an 8 millimeter blade width, and this is an 8 by 8 millimeter square drive. Total weight 175 gram, total length 275 millimeter. Now, the challenge with this, or for me it was, for one finger was the handle is too fat, so two finger just fitting in here, pushing this way, and this is just nicely resting. Now, because the weight still got a lot of weight up here, just a normal slide for me wasn't working. So active push works really well. But if you don't like no spin it, you can also instinctive half spin it when the index finger is slowing down the rotation, or military half spin it when the thumb slows down the rotation, forward rotation, or you can use a hammer grip. For me, it's a little bit wobbly in here, but it might work for you. Or you can use a handshake or pinch grip, again half spin. The only thing I never was able to get any kind of consistency is full spin by the handle, but I'm not a rotational thrower, so it doesn't worry me. Now, other challenges: distance. So and before we get into that, consistency. So I am around 85% consistent with this. I can get 5 in a row every so often, sometimes more, some days more often than others, but I can't get to that 95 or 97% consistency rate. Beyond 4 meters, very difficult. My consistency rate drops down to 20% at 4.5 and 5 meter. Now, yeah, the other challenge with it, the handle does get does get a fair amount of beating. Flat hit, hitting the ground, and every so often Robin Hooding yourself or the screwdriver. So they do tend to chip in, but a little bit of tape fixed it all right, no worries. Now, tape, you can use a flathead, you can use a Phillips or a square drive, a Robinson drive, but I like flatheads. These ones are a little bit duller, so you might need to reshape the end, and then it stops, becomes a screwdriver, it becomes a pointed throwing object. Now, other thing, for a while I was convinced that because the blade is, like the tip is quite big compared to a throwing knife, my stick rate is bad or not as good because of this. So I made one like this, which is exactly the same as my bow shurikens. Now that was before these handles were destroyed, so I could really twist them in my hand and not looking which one I'm throwing, just kept throwing them and mark down my stick rate. And as it turned out, for me, this versus this or this versus this doesn't matter. It's the same or very, very, very similar. Now, this is also an advantage of screwdrivers, because once the handle truly give up the ghost, you can just turn them into very durable bow shurikens. I have a video somewhere on the channel how I'm making these, and yeah, they're better than large nails because they don't bend. The tips don't need any maintenance, they're just great. I love them this way. But coming back to, oops, that's not the one, that's the one. Coming back to a screwdriver. So that's the bad thing about it, that they wear out every so often. A good thing, local hardware store, if you look for a budget-friendly brand name, like for example, this is a Fuller brand. This is a Stanley brand. These are $7, $8, $9 per piece. So you can buy a lot for not much, and it's hours and hours of entertainment and replaceability. Okay, now Fuller, at least here, have changed the handle shape. On the new handles are different. I haven't tried one of them, but I still have a full set of these. So once they all break, I'll find something else. So now, if I wouldn't go as far as this would be a perfect as a forever throwing knife, because it has its challenges. It's the distance you're not going to gain as much as with a decent throwing knife. But as a starter, as a side attraction, they're awesome. I reckon everybody who's into knife throwing should have a set and should be playing with it every so often, just for the variety, just for the fun factor. Yeah, so this is my thoughts on the screwdriver, the good, the bad, and the different. Hope you enjoyed this video and got some ideas out of it, some information, and if so, get some, enjoy, and I shall see you at the next video. Thanks guys, see ya.